So I'm Mark Beakey. I'm the co-founder of Concussion Coach here in Dublin, Ireland. And what we do is we run educational workshops that are designed for each specific stakeholder, so they know what to do, how to identify concussion, and how to manage that from the acute moment of injury right up to the athlete returns to play. And that's pretty much what we do. We go around schools, clubs, businesses, you name it. We go around with workshops.
Well, and what I've noticed from what you're doing, you're in Dublin, but you're getting more internationally known. How do you plan on starting this as a grassroots level, is what you've mentioned before, and building up what you can do to help everyone out?
I think one of the big things with concussion is we always want the professional sports to trickle down, down to the grassroots. But in reality, it's only going to happen once the grassroots kick in, and then the next generation of professionals have this built in from the early age. So that's what we target as young as they can be. Try to get because a lot of times professional sports, they have all the medics, they have all the video cameras, they have all the experts. You go down to say a Sunday league match down the road, and there's probably one volunteer coach trying to look after 30 or 40 kids, and that's when the education really can come in. And the education can come in from the parents on the sidelines, even the opposition teams, if they can recognize things. So that's what we target, getting those really young. And I suppose on an international level, we just need to work again into the governing bodies here, get the education, become a bit more mandated like you have in the States and in Canada. We don't have anything like that here in Ireland about mandated education. So that's kind of where we see it going in the next 5 to 10 years.
Well, what I see what you're doing is kind of, you said, sort of starting with professionals and trickling down. The way we call it soccer here, by the way. The way that I've seen that we started with when we had the World Cup here. And we said, okay, let's get the interest here. And then we have a lot more little kids playing now than we did before. So it's kind of a starting at the top and starting at the bottom as well. So it kind of seems like you're doing the same thing. Let's get the professionals to understand how important it is, but also the youth leagues and things of that nature to get going as well.
I suppose, you're definitely right there. When you look at a professional athlete, if they show a good example, it will then the kids see that. But I always say professional sports is a whole nother ballgame.
Oh, sure, exactly. Yeah.
And I'd say you could probably take some professional athlete, whether he's American or Irish, big advocate for concussion safety. If he's playing in a big game and he gets a potential concussion, what is the likelihood that he thinks to himself, right, maybe I'll go off the pitch. It's I think at the moment I can't say definitively whether they do that or but that's just, maybe I'm just being a bit cynical. I just know from my own experience and probably the hundreds to thousands now that I've spoken to, it just seems once they get into that heat of battle, they just need to take that decision out of their hands, opposed to say an unbiased, say, medical professional on the sideline that can observe this and then basically say, look, he's out, essentially.
And I think that's what we're starting to see now. Clubs are saying and leagues are saying, okay, it's no longer in the individual or even the club's hands. We're going to have another person on the side who's going to observe and is going to take care of things on their end. So we don't have to worry about whether it's, pressure to get back into the game, pressure to play for the playoffs, pressure to play for the money. All that's taken out of account. And now we've got someone whose only concern is the athlete and the game in general. So I think if we can continue that discussion on the professional end, and then what I'm seeing, and correct me if I'm wrong, on the youth end, the same thing. It's like, okay, we're going to have a separate entity on the sideline, kind of what you're doing, and saying, okay, we're going to get involved here, and we're going to take that pressure out of it. So if you want to blame somebody, blame us, but don't blame yourself and don't have the pressure on you. Exactly.
And I think, especially when we look at education, we're like, oh, let's just leave it to the coaches to educate the athletes, or let's leave it to the parents to educate the athletes. Well, then who's educating the coaches and who's educating the parents on that information? And I think it's good always for a club to bring in new faces so that it's kind of non-biased. They don't know what the internal politics of a particular club or school is. They just come in, they bring the facts, they don't bring anything else with them, and that's really what we always try. The best we can do is get them people at the start of the season and get all different stakeholders in, because then everyone knows exactly what's the way to follow. So if a coach says, look, I think this player has a suspected concussion, then they know the exact protocol that's going to happen because they learned it from day one. And not being like, no, my son or daughter, they're playing on this game, because they would have been told on the first day, if you're a member of this club, this is the rules that you follow.
And as I mentioned to you off the air, I'm a former athletic director. And, as the athletic director, my information and my expertise on concussion was, oh, this piece of paper they gave me 3 minutes ago, I'll read that. So I didn't know much, but at least I knew what that piece of paper said. But like you said, get an expert involved, get a personal trainer or a professional trainer or someone involved and knows what's going on. So now, as concussion coaches, your business, what is it that you guys are doing to make sure this works?
So what we do is we work with each specific stakeholder. And then we make sure that once we leave, that they leave it, they continue on an ongoing basis. So each specific stakeholder gets different training. So, for example, we were with a school group just earlier on today. So we first went in, we talked to the students, and then afterwards we had a separate workshop that we had for the teachers. So we give them all the steps and guides. We're like, look, this is what you're going to do. This is what we told them. This is what we're going to tell you. Be completely transparent. And they will be sending them up now a follow-up template of what a return to learn strategy may look like for their school, because at the moment they just didn't have one in their school at the moment, but they want something in writing that they can send out to all the parents and be like, look, this is what happens when a concussion happens, and this is how we're going to accommodate them coming back into the academic setting.
Okay, and then the follow-up procedure, is that basically what you've given them, or is that you come back at some point and go, now here's how we want to follow up?
We'd love to be able to do follow-ups, but just unfortunately then you have to try to get everyone back in again. We're always happy. See, we're very contactable, so if they will always say, look, here's our phone number, here's our personal email. You contact us with any queries. If any concussions happen, you're not unsure what to do, get on to us. We're happy then to advise you from there. But
you set it up so they have a procedure and a plan.
Yeah, we set it up that they should be able to work
right
once we're, and then if there's any little queries or questions or anything like that, they can easily contact us and we'll point them back in the right direction.
Now, you mentioned a volume. How many schools and entities are you involved with right now?
Sorry, what was that? I just cut out there.
I'm sorry. You mentioned, our internet connection is a little goofy today. You mentioned the volume of entities that you're involved with. How many places do you work with now?
Anywhere and everywhere. So Ireland is a much smaller place than America. So just today we traveled over the far side of Ireland today, and then I'm actually just back. So we're the four corners of Ireland: clubs, schools, businesses. Our timetable for the next 2 or 3 months is pretty much back full up or booked up. So we're constantly getting outreach going, because a lot of people are over in America. I think there's a lot more knowledge and awareness about concussion. Here it's starting to grow, but there's still people who I have no idea what that is, Right. So then we're trying to educate them by saying, oh, do you want us to come in and talk about something that they probably have no idea what we're even talking about? So it's that they don't even know to be worried yet. Do you know what I mean? So we're about 2 or 3, I'd say about 5 or 10 years behind where America was.
Okay.
Because we haven't had those big, massive cases. We've only had a couple where it kind of drives people along. But no, we're pretty much everywhere. We're in constant outreach and constant chat with people basically all over Ireland.
Now, can you set this up online, or is that a process that you're looking at doing down the road?
And set up our thing online?
Right.
Yeah, we do in-house workshops, or we can do webinars online.
Okay, sounds good. Well, give us some information on how to contact you and where we can find you, like Twitter, Facebook, that kind of fun stuff.
Yeah, so the best way to contact us really is just to go to our website. So it's www.concussioncoach.ie. Okay. So the thing with .ie, there's another concussioncoach.com that's separate.
We like that. Else, right?
We like that. That's a group that looks after individuals who are suffering from post-concussion syndrome. So it's kind of a support group. So we're different. We're .ie, so that's the Irish ending there. But yeah, you can contact us there directly, or you can contact my email, mark@concussioncoach.ie.
Okay.
I'm on that pretty much all day. So any questions or any queries, you can go on the website or visit my email.
Okay, Mark. Well, I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you continuing with the discussion, and it's something that we're going to try and throw some more people your way, and hopefully we can get this concussion thing tackled. I hate to use tackle it head on, but that's usually the phrase that comes out of my mouth, even though I don't mean to. But it's something where we're liking the fact that we are getting the conversation going, and the more people that are involved and the more intelligent people we get involved, I think the better off we're going to be.
No, absolutely. And thank you, Frank, for opening this discussion and keeping this discussion alive. I think people like yourself, kind of connecting people from all across the world, I think it's really important. And that's how we're really going to, as you said, tackle this issue head on.
Well, like I said, we'll revisit this later if you don't mind, and we'll see how we're doing. Okay, good. Thank you.
Right. Perfect. Thanks, Frank.